We spend all our time here. I want to make a paradise.
She redid all of it, every last detail. And she breathed life back into every room.
Well, Darren Aronofsky is not the kind of filmmaker that turns out predictable standard movies, that's to be sure. This is the guy who did Black Swan, The Wrestler, the egregiously underappreciated Fountain. There's all kinds of things obviously going on in Darren Aronofsky's head, right from one of his early films called Requiem for a Dream, that also may be hard to watch, but it's also hard to forget. His new film, Mother, is a requiem for another dream, I think. I mean, I think this guy may have dreamed this movie and then wrote it and directed it and gotten it on the screen. It's one of those movies you're going to pull out the old cliche, you'll either love it or hate it. I loved it and hated it. Go figure. And maybe that's what movies are supposed to do. This world premiered at the Venice Film Festival, where reportedly it got some boos, divided audiences, as well at the Toronto Film Festival, where I caught up with it. Had its massive world premiere at Radio City Music Hall. You might as well just go for it, Paramount here. And that's what they've done with Mother. It's a quasi-horror movie in the vein of Rosemary's Baby, which the same studio released almost 50 years ago. In fact, the ad campaign is a very cheeky kind of reference to Rosemary's Baby. But if this is Rosemary's Baby or Roman Polanski in any way, shape, or form, it is on steroids and beyond that.
Please, come in.
Hello.
Hello. He's a stranger. We're just going to let him sleep in our house.
It stars Jennifer Lawrence as a newlywed. She lives in a fixer-upper, to be sure, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, with her husband, played by Javier Bardem. He's a frustrated poet, apparently, has severe writer's block, just can't seem to write anything, which is dangerous for a writer. They are getting to know each other in this young marriage when one day a knock comes on the door, and it's Ed Harris, and he thinks it's a B&B, and he's mistaken the house for that. But unbeknownst to Lawrence, he invites him to stay with them. This is the last thing she wants, and she has kind of a look of, why are you doing this, hubby? Anyway, the next day, who shows up but Ed Harris's wife, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's a piece of work in this too, immediately making digs about Jennifer Lawrence, the fact she has no children, the fact she has a tepid sex life, she's guessing. She goes after her like a woodpecker goes after a tree, and she's deliciously fine here. I love the scenes between Lawrence and Bardem and Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris. It just doesn't get better than this.
You know what it's like when you're just starting out and you think you have all the time in the world, and you know, you're not going to be so young forever. Have kids. Then you'll be creating something together. This is all just setting. Oh, you do want them.
But it certainly gets weirder than this. Soon, more knocks on the door. Their sons arrive, the sons of Harris and Pfeiffer. And then things really take a turn. And Jennifer Lawrence really is mostly required to look absolutely horrified and scared to death and wonder what is going on. Is this all just a horrible dream, or is it real? And the thing escalates from there. I don't want to ruin it for people. This is the kind of movie you have to go into knowing it may disturb you, knowing you may not like this movie, but also knowing this is one you can't get out of your head. I can't get it out of my head. That's the thing. And wow, the second half of this movie really tortured me, just like it tortures its leading star, Jennifer Lawrence, where it really does turn into a Fellini-esque thing about fame and fortune and suddenly finding celebrity in the weirdest places, the difficulty of being a creative force. There's all kinds of themes running through here, religious themes, and many more. I think you need to have Aronofsky explain what he means, but it's better to interpret it for yourself. Really, This is inspired certainly by the films of Roman Polanski in some ways, but Darren Aronofsky cannot be accused of copying anybody. It's simply a takeoff point, and this movie is its own little creature. It will be really interesting to see what general audiences make of this. If they go in thinking it's a horror film, it's a very different kind of horror film, but one, like I said, I haven't forgotten since I saw it in Toronto, and it opens wide. We'll see what happens with Mother, but I say if you want a different kind of film experience, one with a lot of terrific actors in it, by the way, and terrific production values, Mother is a winner, and it's not for everyone. I'm going to warn you repeatedly. Know what you're getting into, but just try to stay away. I say, go.